China, a place that draws the world's attention. It's a vast nation with 1.3 billion people, representing 20% of the world's total population. China is the longest continuous civilization in history, and it's a place to explore global entrepreneurship in the 21st century. With increased influence of the Western world, China has become one of the fastest growing economies. And in this vast market, forecast to reach 2 billion people, many believe China will become the world's largest economy. People refer to China as a rising economic powerhouse. They call China the new land of opportunity. China is also a place to develop entrepreneurial skills. The Donald McNeely Center for Entrepreneurship sponsors the Entrepreneur Scholar Program at the College of St. Benedict and St. John's University. The program's mission is to provide budding entrepreneurial students with the understanding, skills, and experience that transform entrepreneurial interest into actionable skills. The program also strives to give students the lifelong capacity to capture and make real entrepreneurial opportunities.
The world needs more entrepreneurs. Put another way, the world needs more people with an entrepreneurial mindset. People who can solve problems, people who can look at chaos and see solutions, people who can get things done.
One important goal of the program is to have each entrepreneur scholar design their own business venture or be working in an entrepreneurial environment by the time they graduate. The center fosters this goal by mentoring, funding, and supporting the students in their venture.
There are things happening in China that are unprecedented in the history of the world. For example, in the last 30 years, 200 million people have moved from small villages to big cities. That's like 2/3 the population of the United States have moved to big cities in China in the last 30 years. A lot of people call China the new land of opportunity. So that's part of the reason why we go there. We want to see what this new land of opportunity is all about.
What I expect to get out of this trip is a better understanding of the Chinese culture, especially the language. I'm very interested in Mandarin, the different tones they use, and how it's very, very different from English.
There are 4 things I expected to get out from the trip: refresh my culture, and find the differences between China and the United States, and getting opportunities to meet new people, to get access to confidence, and maybe find an internship opportunity.
What I want to get out of this trip is a better understanding of what it's like to be submerged in a totally different environment, in a totally different country.
I'm expecting to get more of a global perspective, business perspective, to bring back with me.
The students spend 15 days immersed in Chinese culture and engage with entrepreneurs every day. A second key goal of the program is to increase the students' ability to get outside their comfort zone and navigate well in unknown worlds, starting with 5 days in Shanghai, flying south to Shenzhen for 5 days, stopping at the island of Macau, and landing in the heart of Hong Kong for another 5 days.
In my mind, the primary goal is to get students to embrace ambiguity. That's my mantra. How do we do that? We get them outside of their comfort zone. And I mean, we really push them, okay? So, for example, we get to Shanghai, we get a good night's sleep, we do a scavenger hunt. You give them a subway card, You give them a map, the map they give you at the desk at the hotel, and you say, go find these 5 or 6 things. You look at the look on their face, I love it. They look like a deer in the headlights. They come back 6 hours later, they got some or most or all of their objectives, and they're a different person because they've been out of their comfort zone. They've been in what I call the learning zone. That's where great things happen, and that's the goal of this trip.
Memories that I have of the scavenger hunt, I remember the first thing we did was we hopped on the subway, and that was a first for me already. And I remember getting out of the subway, trying to follow the directions that were made for us, and getting sidetracked from all these different things. I was distracted constantly, but it's because I had just never seen any of these things. But at the same time, I feel like that was the point of the scavenger hunt, to see things that we've never experienced before.
My early impressions of China are that it's a very fast growing culture that is very difficult to understand. I feel very much like an alien on a different planet.
My first impression of China was that it's totally chaotic yet structured at the same time.
It's a lot different than I thought it would be. There are a lot more people. I expected to see a lot of big buildings, but I didn't expect most of them to be housing, and that's what's really surprised me.
I have heard over and over and over that there is so much opportunity that is bursting out of China, and my early impressions definitely solidify that, and I cannot believe how much of the Western world is coming over and how many different Western things that we've seen.
There's a lot of extremes. Things are very, very similar to the way they are in the US, and things are very, very different. You really just have to be open to very ambiguous situations and keep an open mind.
The students spend time visiting a university in China. They have the opportunity to share their business venture ideas and network with Chinese students. Throughout their travels, the students tour a variety of businesses. They meet with Chinese entrepreneurs and Americans that have set up businesses in China. This allows the students to ask questions and get a first-hand look at real entrepreneurial endeavors.
The common denominator that all of you had in your definition of entrepreneurship was your own destiny, doing it yourself. It is you. Great people build great companies.
We also want to see what this Made in China thing is all about. Made in China, what does that mean? We want to get over there and feel what Made in China feels like, and see what Made in China looks like, and smell what Made in China smells like. That's the purpose of this trip.
This trip has made me realize that with our business venture we could possibly go international. It's really opened my eyes to the possibilities out there, and just the idea that we don't have to do something just in St. Joe or at St. John's and St. Ben's. We could have an international business too.
I've learned a lot from the site visits on this trip so far, but I think the biggest thing that I've learned is that it's very, very important to build a strong team, and then from that point, wait for the right idea and the right time, and the business will be successful.
Hong Kong! A third goal of the program is to build the ability in students to meet people and learn from their cultures. Students learn to see similarities and differences all around them, developing cultural awareness skills they will use for a lifetime.
Looking back on this trip, I've learned to be a lot more curious about other people's cultures. When we were in China, the people over there were very, very curious to learn every single thing we had to tell them about our culture, no matter where we are. They wanted to know every single detail. So in turn, that made me very curious about other cultures, not only China, but all around the world.
Before I came to the United States, I was a high school student in China. And never imagined I will visit a company, American-owned company in China. This opened a great opportunity for me because in the future I might use my language skills either in the United States or China. We're doing something together. That was great. I love it.
A takeaway I have of the eScholar program is that I never referred to myself as an entrepreneur. But after all the site visits and trips and China specifically, we learned from so many different people, like first-hand experience. And that's one major takeaway that I have. I feel like an entrepreneur.